Welcome to Answer Units, Single or Ratio. So in Chapter 5, we're going to learn how to identify the given quantities and equalities in word problems. And once you do this, you can then solve nearly all of the calculations that you're going to see in a first semester chemistry course using the conversion factor method that we learned in Chapter 4. We're going to use a system to organize the data that you have available to help solve the problem. So let's learn that system. We're going to divide the units of measurement into three types. Single units, and these are one kind of base unit in the numerator, but no denominator. So these are things like meters, cubic centimeters, grams, hours, liters, milliliters, things like that. Then we have ratio units, which are one unit in the numerator and a different unit in the denominator. So this is something like meters per second, or grams per cubic centimeter, or grams per milliliter, something like that. And then we have complex units. These are any other type of unit. So 1 over seconds, meters to the minus 1, kilograms times meters squared per second squared, something like that. First, we're going to write the wanted unit. So to solve word problems, we first want to write wanted, colon, question mark, and then the unit of the answer, and then followed by an equal sign. So we're going to start out by looking only for the unit of our answer there. So let's look at an example. At an average speed of 25 miles per hour, how many hours will it take to go 450 miles? We want to start out by writing wanted, colon, question mark, and then the unit that we want. The unit that we want is how many hours. So hours is the unit, so we're going to write HR for hour. And then an equal sign. And an answer unit is a ratio unit if the problem asks you to find something like unit X per unit Y, or unit X times unit Y to the minus 1. Or if it asks unit X per unit Y if there is no number after per. If there's no number in front of the denominator unit or after the word per, then the number 1 is understood, and the wanted unit is a ratio unit. So a ratio unit is some unit per one of the other unit. For example, miles per hour is miles traveled per 1 hour. In every 1 hour you travel however many miles is listed, whatever number is listed. If the answer unit has a single unit in the numerator, then it's a single unit. So this is something like miles or cubic centimeters or dollars. If the problem asks for a unit per more than one other unit, then it's asking for a single unit. For example, grams per 100 milliliters is asking for grams. It's not asking for a ratio unit of grams per milliliter. Miles traveled in 27 hours is asking for miles. It's not asking for miles per hour. Because it's stating 27 hours is how long of a time you're given, and it's asking how many miles can you travel in that time. If you want a ratio unit, then you write the unit as a fraction with the numerator and denominator. For example, if the answer unit is miles per hour, we'd write wanted equal wanted colon question mark miles over hours equals. Don't write either one of these. Don't write miles per hour as miles slash hour, and don't write it as mph. So the reason why we want to write it as a fraction form like this is that this sets it up very well for using conversion factors in our fraction forms. If we have our units listed like this, then you may be trying to put mph in the numerator or denominator of your conversion factor, and it's not going to work out because what we really have there is miles divided by hours, so we need miles. If we want to cancel both of these, we need to put miles in the denominator and hours in the numerator of some conversion factor. When you're typing, then using the slash as in miles per hour is acceptable, but when you're actually writing it out on paper, you should write it as a fraction instead. If you want a single unit, then you want to write the wanted unit without a denominator. So wanted colon question mark hours equals. It's understood that with single units, they have a denominator of 1, and we write them without that denominator. So that was answer units, single or ratio.